Hello everyone and welcome back for the final time to the Knight Any NMG Tournament. This is the grand finals. It's going to be fireb0rn versus vysuals. fireb0rn is coming from loser's side, so for Fire to win, he would have to win this first match. That would reset the bracket, and then he would have to play one more time and win again versus vysuals. So Fire does need 2 wins to win the whole tournament. vysuals only needs 1. My name is Palm, and I'm commentating alongside Insomnia today.
Hello. And yeah, basically just building off what you're saying, it should be really good. In the name of content, we're kind of rooting for Fire to win the first one to reset the bracket.
I love the way to put that. In the name of content, indeed. Regardless of who you want to win the tournament.
Yeah, exactly. It's just an extra race.
Alright, so it looks like Fire is trolling.
Should be a good race. Viz got a 33-49 recently, just for practice, and Fire, being the god he is, got a 33-07. But, you know, it's sort of close enough that RNG and execution, race nerves and all that, it could go either way.
For sure, yeah, it definitely could be either runner's race. Fire was just doing some warm-ups before now, and I think he got like a couple 35XX, something in that range, which of course, for warm-ups, he's probably not as focused, playing a little more aggressively, but just goes to show, you know, neither of these runners are guaranteed a 33 or even a 34.
Yeah, exactly. And I assume we're about to get on the way.
It looks like it. Fire kind of started and then stopped. He's trolling us a little bit. He might have been to just check his timer. It's good to make sure that works. Yeah, there we go. Once vysuals starts, if vysuals starts. Alright, so he's going to be a bit behind. We're probably going to get a sync up to get these timers at least close together. Because this is loadless time, Fire's computer is much better than vysuals, so he will have less time in the loads, and inevitably his timer will kind of climb farther and farther ahead as we continue. If the race is close, we will do our best to resync the timers, so you can tell kind of who's behind who, what amount. The fact that vysuals is actually starting 12 seconds behind does not help things.
Yeah, definitely not. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Fire sort of creeping ahead. He's got a super strong early game, and his Fire. But Viz has been practicing the category a lot, so we could see some stuff from him.
Yeah, I was impressed. I think vysuals just came back to the category fairly recently. He's been running a lot of 106, but with the grand finals of this tournament coming up, obviously that's something he wants to get practiced. And even in that short amount of time for practicing, he did get a new PB at any percent, as Insomnia mentioned earlier, a 33-49. And fireb0rn 0.01 seconds behind coming out of King's Pass.
Yeah, so at 0.01, the race is basically over. We can just give it to Viz. But what you were saying about Viz saying he was going to get a PB, it took him less than a day of practicing to get it. So he's definitely playing pretty well, and 106 does transfer over.
Fire is now 0.03 behind. It's over.
Yeah, just extrapolating. There's no way he can come back.
Well, we're going to see the beginning of the run. Obviously not too much of a time difference is going to happen, but that is something that can cause a small one. vysuals getting hit once on the fall, and fireb0rn not getting hit at all. So that's a second or two, somewhere around there. I believe Viz also goes, quote-unquote, for double pogo, but he does a very late double pogo where he kind of only expects to hit one of the flies. Fire, you'll see here, hit both of them. He's pretty consistent on that. We'll see how vysuals does. He does this really long jump here. Yeah, he will get actually lucky where the flies went, and he will hit both of them. So pretty even on that run.
They're keeping it pretty close, and there's not too much time loss here or there in the first couple of splits. It's just about tight movement, making that small lead, and trying to get enough geo to make the next couple of splits a bit easier.
Yeah, and even generally with the runners, we don't see too much of a difference between like green path or claw. That just tends to be, with these top runners, only a few seconds difference. Of course, the exception would be the last time Fire and Viz raced. Fire did in fact die in the claw split pretty far into the split, so he lost like 2 minutes or something on that order there, and unfortunately couldn't come back, which is the reason that he is coming from loser's bracket.
Yeah, Though after he did die in Mantis Village, he went on an absolute tear. I think he made back over a minute of it.
Yeah, it's just rough with a death like that, especially when your opponent knows you died to something like that.
Yeah, and they can just play a bit safer and sort of play with their lead.
I think Viz has actually had like a streak of the opponents that he's gotten kind of making mistakes. I know Scurry did it. He died to Watcher Knights, fireb0rn dying to Mantis Pogo. I don't remember who his other kind of opponent toward the end of the tournament was.
Was it Trinomi?
Was it? Did Trinomi do something? I don't know. I feel like Viz has had a trend like that, and he's kind of admitted to it too. But he's been a good sport about it, obviously. He said in the Discord a lot, like, he's kind of annoyed that people are just not throwing, but, you know, doing poorly against him. He wants some good races, and, you know, against fireb0rn in the grand finals, he's probably going to get some. Fire is actually ahead by a decent margin going into VS. Had a bit of a better false night. And, like, a 3:30 VS for a race time, that's super good.
Yeah, definitely. Sort of just speaks testament to the consistency of these top runners, that they're getting, you know, super good times in races.
Yeah, I don't know how much nerves will play a factor here as well. It is obviously the grand finals of the tournament, and there is a little bit of money on the line for this. Not a huge amount, but something to keep it a little bit interesting. I think Fire is kind of more concerned with records and, at this point, honestly, meme categories, and Visuals is more concerned with 106, so I don't think there's going to be too much stress for these runners today, but obviously the grand finals of anything, especially long enough that we've spent months on it, going to be a little bit.
Exactly, and it leads out to 3.5 seconds now, according to Rex, who is in the chat to save us doing math.
First spit for Fire. Second for Viz, not too bad. Another 2-ish, 1.5, 2 seconds time loss. All these things can kind of be made up if Viz hits a fireball skip that Fire misses or something like that.
Yeah, the main time losses for this next section in Green Path is the 3 fireball skips, as you mentioned, Vengefly King quick kill, and then Hornet RNG. There's not a huge amount of time loss here or there, but especially if you miss the Vengefly King quick kill, it can add up.
Yeah, and 37 Geo for Fire, I'm just noticing, is pretty disgustingly low. Optimally, you'd like to be around 50 at this point, and like almost 100 after getting this Balder. 86 is not very comfortable, so if he does miss like a quick kill or a Moss Charger kill, he will have to go back for that Geo. He doesn't really have a safety net at this point.
Yeah, if one of those goes wrong and he doesn't go back, he'll probably end up having to kill the Mantis for the Mantis Claw, and then that just makes the setup harder, and that's how you end up dying at Mantis Claw.
They both have enough Geo for this fireball skip. I didn't actually pay attention to the first one. It looks like they both made it, because there's not too much of a difference in time. Plus, if you miss that one, it's not too big of a time loss. This one would be a much more devastating one to miss. Fire hits it pretty easily. And we'll see Viz coming up to it now. Right. No trouble for either of the runners.
Fire getting pretty unlucky with the Geo from that Moss Charger.
Yeah, 90 Geo is not very good here.
Yeah, I think if he had more soul, he probably could have even fireballed those two guys on the top.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what he'll do with the Vengefly King, because normally after you get the kill, you jump up and get one more hit of Geo off of one of the smaller Vengeflies, but with the amount of Geo he has right now, he might just stay on the ground to make sure he picks up all the Vengefly King Geo. 4-day Geo for Moss Charger is a good start, though. Or Moss Knight? Moss Knight, I believe.
Moss Charger with the sword and shield.
Same thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. I don't know if Fire didn't get hit there. He missed one nail swing and kind of freaked out and did some weird movement, but he ended up getting the hits he needed. And to clean Vengefly King. And yeah, he won't actually get that extra hit of soul. He's going to make sure he collects all the Geo. 194 is still low, but he's just trying to sustain himself here.
And fighting Viz is 1G off what he needs at Salubra, so he's basically
Oh
safe.
no. Oh, fire. He might get rocks now. Yeah, he's slashing because he's angry, I'm pretty sure. He missed that last Moss Charger. He attacked it too early, so the Moss Charger was too far away to hit with his nail. He now needs, what, 6 + 6, 12 Geo? That's almost too much to ask from the Big Mantis. I think that's the very most you can get from the Big Mantis. So he might go for rocks. Or he might just die to Hornet. Oh. Yeah, some weird inputs there. You can tell he's scared, and he is actually behind visuals now after that green path. He's ahead slightly real time, but you'll see he'll pick this cloak up at 52 about, and Viz about at 48. So like a 4-second lead for visuals, plus the Geo lead. It's only 11 Geo, but that is a big 11 Geo to be down.
Yeah, definitely. There's sort of 3 you can get on the way to Salubra, so he could end up going for, and then there's the 6 from the Aspen, so he could end up doing that and getting like a 5er from the Mantis.
Yeah, but even with a 5 from the Mantis, I'm wondering if it's slower to just, even if you're not going to get rocks, to fireball those 2 enemies next to rocks. Rocks, of course, referring to the old Geo route that we did before Vengefly King. So there are some backups, and it's not too much of a time loss, but already down 4 seconds. He doesn't really want this time loss, but I don't know how much of a choice he has. Oh, some missed inputs from Fire. Yeah. And a really nice 330, so he wasn't stressed at the beginning, or if he was getting lucky enough for it not to affect his play. But definitely some input mistakes. On the Hornet fight, you can see some side slashes when they should have been up slashes or down slashes, and obviously right there, he side slashed instead of pogoed to get that hard fall at the beginning of Claw. So we'll see how that stress kind of plays out.
Yeah, and Viz doing a slightly older rune strategy, going over the top for the Shroom-Logo rune. Shroom-Warrior rune.
You'll see in this room, I get to make fun of Viz too. In this room, he'll actually hit this little ledge here instead of falling by it, which loses time, but he doesn't care. He's a veteran runner, which means he has excuses to do only old strats. Fire gets Explosion Pogo, and Viz does as well. Fire not getting the Geo though, so we'll see what his plan is down here. Oh, he's gonna force himself to get all 12 here. So now he makes the Mantis Pogo a lot harder. He's really putting a lot of pressure on himself. He does get the Mantis Pogo though, so Fire is still in this, if about 10 seconds behind.
Yeah, that was a really nice backup.
Yeah. I mean, he was down exactly 12. He knew that's exactly what the big Mantis gives, so he wasted the time to collect that Geo. Made the Mantis Pogo very scary, but he trusted in himself and he got it. But a 9-second lead for visuals at this point. Which, while the timers aren't synced, the game is extremely synced, so that's good.
Yeah, I mean, makes for pretty easy viewing. You can see the differences. As you mentioned, Viz is a bit of an older runner, so you will notice some slight strat differences.
Yeah, I think it almost speaks more to just how optimized this route is, that they're doing almost the same movement through pretty much every room. The reason that we point out when Viz does something different is because there are so few things that runners do different at this point, which is how optimized any percent is.
Yeah, and I mean, even the Warrior, we're talking like 0.1 seconds.
Viz obviously not intentionally falling down in that room. He meant to go over as Fire did, losing a couple seconds there. Another thing to note, Fire is on the bare minimum Geo here. 206 is exactly what you need. So if he loses even 1 to Grezmother, he will have to go back to get extra Geo to buy Shaman Stone. So he's really going to hope that it doesn't get stuck in the ceiling, or if it does get stuck in the ceiling, that he's able to dash and collect that Geo. That's pretty close to the ceiling.
Yeah, that's rough.
Oh no. Okay, he got it all. Some did actually get stuck up there, but he was able to dash and get it. So after a
And
really...
decent cleanup.
Yeah, a good cleanup too. After a really scary couple of splits for Fire, in Claw and Grow's Mother, he actually has saved a little bit of time on Viz. Just a bit though. Just that one room that Viz fell down through the golems instead of pogoing. That's pretty much the only time difference here. So down from about 10 seconds to about 8, something like that. I'm sure Rick will tell us in chat.
Yeah, I think he said it was like 7.
Okay. He just had to prove me wrong.
8. You're right.
Setting up Shade Skip here, not something we expect either runner to miss. Something to note, though, is the Shade could shoot a Fireball. I know Fire's past few runs he's gotten a Fireball. This time he does not. We'll see if Viz does. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, pretty clean from both of them.
Fire was really asking for the Fireball there, though. He was staying at the same height like the whole time.
Yeah, I have no idea how to do that. I just pray.
Yeah, my philosophy is sort of just don't be on the same level as the Shade and you're all good.
Yep. Yeah, for those who don't know, the Shade actually does have a higher chance of shooting a Fireball. Because it shoots the Fireball left or right, it has a higher chance of shooting the Fireball if you are on the same plane as it, so if you're on the same height. So the idea for Shade Skip is to, as much as possible, not be at the exact same height as the Shade, but people have different ways of doing that, and obviously it's inevitable that at some point you're going to have to be at the same height, so there is an element of RNG to it, no matter how well you perform. Some tech smashing. I'm pretty sure Fire does like axe plats normally, like at least if he's doing his like a PB run. I don't know if he will in a race, especially with kind of how many movement errors he's had so far, most notably in Green Path. He might not trust himself enough to, but we'll see right here. No, he goes for it, and he gets it. Well done. The slight difference between what Fire and Viz were doing there. Viz, of course, jumping off the side of the platform, just a little bit slower than Fire, who dashed on top of the platform, so he doesn't have to waste that one extra jump to jump on top from the side, from the wall jump.
And you can tell Fire just flying through those dream platforms, Viz taking a little bit more time as a trade-off for safety.
Yep. Other than Green Path, really, it seems like they're pretty close. I think Fire was a few seconds ahead after Vengeful Spirit, but Viz had a much, much better Green Path. And save a few seconds here and there, it's kind of held after that. However, City of Tears and Watcher Knights, especially, definitely times that can vary the difference between the two runners.
Exactly. And the lesser runners, Watcher Knights are definitely a pretty high reset or death point in runs. These guys wouldn't really expect to die much, but there's still a lot of time gain or loss possible.
This is actually on a nice pace here. Hitting this lever at 53 is pretty good. His PB's, what, 33.49, I believe you said earlier. He definitely could still get that.
Yeah, he's really been playing quite well. That little bit of practice for the category obviously paying off.
I didn't know he gets the Geo there. So Viz gets that Geo. So he does not need... I don't know what he's going to skip for that. Because that's not too much Geo, it just gives him a lot more soul. Fire obviously getting hit once in that rim will lose a little bit of time, but Viz taking the time to kill that guy will probably lose more. So now we'll see kind of discrepancies. Viz has more soul and more Geo, but Fire saving a little bit of time in that rim. It's not super clear which is better. The general consensus is whichever one Axe 2U does is probably faster.
Can't argue with that.
No.
I think putting absolute faith in Viz, he might have known that because he had Tim Geo going into the split, that was slightly better, even though it gives slightly less sort of thing.
Possible, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if runners know, kind of, depending on how much Geo you have going into that, how much Geo you have after Shaman Stone, what you should do. I definitely don't. I have no idea. Also, Viz did something a little bit earlier. If you're going to take the bench in King's Station, as both these runners did, just for safety. It is better to walk all the way down and pogo the spikes and take the bench without taking damage. Viz losing a small amount of time to damage tanking and then taking the bench due to a timer change that we made.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it used to be faster to take damage. So this is, again, where I get to make fun of Viz for being a veteran runner. I say that, Fire has been running for much longer than Viz.
He just didn't stop.
Yeah, Viz just has not stopped running Hollow Knight since he started playing Hollow Knight. Fire very lost in this dark room, by the way. Okay, he finally gets out. Viz a little bit faster through it. We'll see the times as they enter the Watcher Knight's arena here as kind of a comparison. I expect it's still about the same 7-8 seconds. The Geo's pretty close. Both these Geo counts fairly low. Oh, rip Fire. You hate to see that miss. That fireball missing is so annoying. So anyway, Chandelier at 16:15 and 16:03, so Viz actually saving a little more time, about 12 seconds ahead now before this fight. Ooh, nice fireball at the end from Fire.
Yeah, that's knowing your health.
It really is. Pretty good fight. Not the best patterns for Fire, but a decent fight. On Viz's side, he actually fireballs the right way the second I look over there, so, you know, that's a commentator's curse. Does he kill it? No. Your HP for Fire, 4 HP for Viz. Both these runners looking fine. I think Fire's fight has been a little bit faster. 2 HP is a little bit of something to be concerned about, but no one jumping. Not too much problems. Only 1 Knight left and a ton of soul to kill it with. 17-24, 24-25 that he'll get the last kill in. So he is saving time over Viz here. We'll see exactly how much. Viz again missing some fireballs. And down to 1 HP. A lot of missed inputs there, and like a 22 from Viz. So Fire saving about 10 to 11 seconds on that fight alone. Super close race now after some missed inputs from Viz. Maybe like 2 or 3 seconds apart, with Fire having the slight disadvantage. I apologize. Viz having the slight advantage in both time and Geo, but again, 2 seconds and 4 Geo. Not going to mean too much here.
He's in chat as well.
So we'll see what happens as we get toward the end of the game. Maybe after Umu or something, we might ask for a resync again. Just especially because the time after Umu, a lot of movement that would be cool to see both of them doing together. A lot of kind of skill-based stuff after Umu for the rest of the run, so it'd be cool to see. And yeah, like, what, 1 second, 2 seconds? Super close race.
Exactly. Really saving 10 seconds on Watcher Knights is quite impressive. Because it wasn't like Viz had a terrible fight or anything.
He had some missed inputs. He had like a fireball the wrong way.
Fireballing the wrong way and stuff. But...
Not his best.
Up for 1 miss by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, I was mentioning how they're both fine on HP, then Fire immediately goes down to 2, and Viz like tanks 3 hits to go down to 1. Just to prove me wrong. Classic Viz. 1198 versus 1201 here. They're both probably going to have to get 2 sets of enemies in this escape from City of Tears. I believe that Viz usually only gets 1 set, and he'll be a little under for Geo, and then he gets the rocks at the very, very end of the run, right after getting Hera with the Dream Nail and before killing THK. So we could see a bit of a difference there. If that does happen, keep in mind that Viz will be like effectively, quote-unquote, a few seconds behind what his actual timer says, because he will need that time save in the end. But that might not even happen. I don't know what he's going to do on this escape from City.
Boomer strats.
Boomer strats? It's definitely slower. Like, it has to be slower.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, because you're not really taking a detour to fireball some enemy.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it's something like he doesn't get all the geo he needs, and then just prays that in Crystal Peaks or like the Mantis Arena that some geo just magically flies his way.
Yeah, did he kill the Glimbat?
Oh, if he does, yeah, that could be some. But even then, like, he knows how much geo that is. There never should be a case where you're... Oh, fire, what are you doing, bud? There never should be a case where you have to get those rocks at the end of the run. They should be, like, safety at absolute most.
Yeah.
23-16.
Might just be that coming from 106 and stuff, he's not as practiced up, so just doing the easy, I don't really need to think about geo, just kill some enemies and you're all good.
Yeah, that's fair.
The
number...
impossible station jump.
Yeah, I hate that. You have to mention that jump. It's so bad. So yeah, Viz will be like 4 geo under. The number to hit here is 23-22. Viz 4 geo under, which I think you can actually get from the guys in Crystal Peaks. You know the names of those. I don't. Glimbarks or something?
That.
I don't know. Yeah, sure. That. I don't know how much those drop. Game knowledge. Yeah, I don't know how much those guys drop. I know during Fire's like practice streams before this run, he's had a lot of trouble with Crystal Peaks specifically for some reason, and Viz has said it's one of his best splits, so something to note going into here. I don't expect too much of a difference in times in Crystal Peaks, but you know, you gotta hype it up a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Glimbat's 6 or 7 geo.
Okay, that would work for him then. What's his soul at? Like 6. Okay. He could then. Fire missing gate storage. Unfortunate. We'll see if he goes for Pogax, considering how close of a race this is. I mean, they're basically tied almost to the second. But it's gonna be effectively tied at this point. He will go for Pogax, or at least he's turning to the right. He could just troll us. Nope, he's going for it. That's bad. Yeah, he knows it. He knows it was bad. That miner walked forward. It makes it a lot harder. The X doesn't get thrown where he wants it, so he will lose a decent amount of time having to try Pogax, then go back around to the left side. We'll see what Viz does. Viz will immediately just go to the left side after he sees that the Glimback? I don't know, is leaving it wide open for him. And the 5 geo, so things working out for Viz there. Missed God Pixel from Fireside. Not too clean of a Crystal Peaks from him. He knows it. He'll get right side at least. And Viz gets God Cycle, actually. Yeah.
So really nice room there from both runners. And just with the left side boomer strats.
He's just trying to find excuses to say boomer strats at this point.
It's old and it's a strat.
Shouldn't have too much problems here at the very end of Crystal Peaks. For sure, Viz did save time, though. Going for Pogax is going to be the big one. Going for Pogax and having to go back from Fireside is going to lose a decent amount of time.
As much as I know it's super safe, seeing that last rune on 1 health still gives me issues.
I know. Especially with Under the Platform, because everyone goes for it and I hate it. So like a 2304 from Fire. Like a 2254 from Viz. So about a 10-second lead for Viz, 10 or 9-second lead. That is less than a Numu cycle, so if Fire gets a 2 cycle and Viz gets a 3 cycle, or Fire gets a 3 and Viz, God forbid, gets a 4, something like that, Fire would take the lead back. But 9 seconds, 10 seconds, not super substantial, but definitely a lead.
Yeah, and person with the yellow name I can't read on my phone, it's about 15 to 20 seconds a cycle, depending on if you get fast or slow attack.
Yeah, but even if they both get the same amount of cycles, if they both get a 2 cycle or something like that, just fast versus slow attacks and how fast Umu moves can make a huge difference. Umu is definitely the RNG of the run.
That's a funny way of pronouncing the most skill-based boss in the run.
There is a lot of skill to Umu. Like, even if he gives you good cycles, getting a 2 cycle is not just guaranteed by any means.
Certainly not. And sort of knowing all the backups and ways that you can turn abysmal sort of Umu movement into a 2 cycles is a skill in of itself.
Yeah, you just have to watch one of Pest's 2 cycles from this race. He had a ridiculous 2 cycle where Umu did everything he could to try to prevent it. That was another boomer strat, by the way. Viz doing the old fall down through that long room. Fire not doing inventory drops.
Why would the damageless left side teach archives as well?
Yeah, that's fun. It is slightly fast than right side. Right side, as you'll see visuals doing here. Obviously getting him more soul. Almost falls into the acid there, but a clutch wall jump to stay alive. Keeping track of attacks, we have a fast attack and a slow attack from Fire. This could be either. You will get 2 fast and a slow, so that's good. And visual starting with a slow, that's not so good. An extra dream nail for good measure. This is pretty slow. Okay, he'll get it. He gets the first cycle. Viz is gonna bait him down a little bit here. Yeah.
They'll even get hit out of that dream nail as well.
Yeah. And Viz does get the double at the end, so they're both on track for the 2 cycle. Fire getting an extra attack, it's not going to be too bad, it's going to be some time loss, but definitely something that's recoverable. He just has to guide him to the left side of this platform, which he's doing very well right here. Ooh, that's rough. Yeah, and he'll get hit out of that. That's super rough from Fire. Did he get it? Oh my god, how did Fire get that? And Viz misses the double! Oh, Viz just got screwed by Umu going too low there, and he cannot get the double hit on the last fireball. Somehow fireb0rn gets the 2 cycle. We don't know how.
Yeah, normally if you get, even slightly slow on attacks, or if you get hit, normally that's just a nail in the coffin. So to get that's really impressive.
Yeah, after getting hit during the damage cycle, you have to go so fast there.
Viz is probably feeling pretty annoyed right now.
I mean, I think Viz did get better. Somehow Viz is not that far behind. A 25-53 Dream Nail from fireb0rn. Viz might have gotten better attacks overall. Fire did get a 3rd attack, of course, and I think Viz did get a 3-2-2. So kind of optimal 3 cycle, if that's a thing. And like a 51 Dream Nail from Viz, so about a 2-second lead for visuals still after that 3 cycle. Kind of goes to show the difference of Crystal Peaks there, and the difference in RNG that Umu can give.
Yeah, exactly. And really well done for both runners, really, to get those good Umus and make use of the RNG that was given to them.
Yeah, all the credit to Viz. I mean, he only missed 2 cycle because that last fireball didn't double. I think the way that he does it, where he guides Umu a little bit lower than most people do, makes it a little less likely to double, maybe. But you have to chalk that up to RNG. That's just unfortunate on his end. The game wants there to be a grand finals bracket reset.
It's RNG manipulation from Fire to get Viz to after 3 cycle.
Of course. Coming up to QGA now, this can be another big time loss. If you fail this just 1 or 2 times, the time and the health that you lose is bad. Fire too high there, he'll jump back up on the platform. He gets it at the right height now and gets off the left side. So 2nd try, and he didn't dunk on the 1st try. That only leaves him a 2nd or 2. Very good from Fire. You'll definitely take that any day.
I think we'll be getting a sync up soon as well.
I do hope so. It's a super close race. And Viz too high as well. Will jump off and repeat as Fire did, and a little dash on the left side, but they'll both get 2nd try without dunking. So no time gain or loss there for either runner. Fire with a clean arena. It's been a really good QG so far. If you can have 5 HP coming into this damage warp, or death warp, that's a good QG to me.
And we should be getting a sync up, pretty soon, they said.
Hopefully we'll get it while Fire is floating midair. You love to see that. Oh, this is going to be a sick race. Viz also getting a very good Queen's Garden, 1st try Death Warp, so they'll both have 4 HP coming into this last section. Really no mistakes in Queen's Garden for either runner, which is pretty rare to see. It's a deceptively hard section.
Yeah, definitely. And they're both on the same geo as well, so it's about as close as you can get.
Yeah, 173 and 175, there's really no difference. They both have enough where they won't need to collect any extra. Assuming they get all of them from the... Oh god. See, this is more enemy names I don't know. Devouts? Devouts. I know it.
There you go.
Thanks. Game knowledge.
Yeah. See, that's how you get a 33. No,
Dude, they're like tied. Oh, they're so tied. They're actually tied to the second. This is insane, dude.
Oh, this is so close.
Oh no.
Oh no.
He will pogo and dash into the spikes, pogoing too high. So 1 second behind, but that's not the bigger concern. The bigger concern is going to be the 3 HP you see at the top of your screen. We do not have much HP to play with. There are 2 intentional damage tanks at the end of this section, so Fire cannot afford to lose 1 more health. If he does, he will either need to heal or forego one of the damage tanks. $35 on Fire screen, 34 on Viz's. Super close race. Both runners are feeling it right now. This is what we came for. Like, I want a bracket reset, but, like, this is a sick race.
Yeah, if this doesn't end up resetting, it's still a hell of a race for grand finals.
Yeah, we still got what we came for. Oh, Viz is intentionally doing a music glitch. If you hold left or right here, the goofy Beastin, or the goofy, whatever this music is, bench music? I'll call it bench music. Yeah, trap bench music. Thank you. We'll play throughout Beastin. Unfortunately, we are listening to Fire's audio right now, so we will not hear it. But I guarantee you it's happening. We could see Fire actually not go for the damage tank on this first guy just to be safer. We'll see if he dashes left or right. Yeah, he'll dash right. So he won't do the damage tank here. He'll kind of accept that time loss. Viz doing the damage tank, so now they're both the same HP, but Viz did save a bit of time there. Oh, and Viz taking damage here. So now Viz the one in HP troubles. He can get through the section if he doesn't get hit again. It'll be fine. Fire has 1 hit to spare. And Viz playing a little slow on that spider. Wants to make sure he doesn't get hit. Fire zooming through the section. Hasn't taken an extra point of damage yet. Hasn't taken any damage yet because he didn't go for it. And he can afford to actually get hit by this guy. He doesn't get hit at all. Yeah, ignoring the grub because he's Fire. A super clean beast, and he didn't even need to forego that damage chip at the start. He has more than enough HP at this end section. Viz, on the other hand, taking another piece of damage, only at 1 HP. He will have to do this one slowly in the same way that Fire did the first one slowly. So advantage fireb0rn at this point. That was a sick beast end from Fire.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Like, he didn't even have to do that first thing where he didn't take damage on the first devout. He could have just gone through it, because he's good enough to not get hit throughout the entirety of the section, which is a ridiculously hard section, by the way. If you're running any percent, you know that section is brutal.
Not only not getting hit, but doing it at absolutely blinding pace.
Yeah, he went through that fast. A 5-second advantage for Fire, certainly something that can be changed from the last boss, which is the Hollow Knight. Just getting Scream Skip alone might be about 5 seconds. Did I say 5 minutes earlier? I don't know. Dude, I'm too hyped. I don't care. This is sick. Don't get hit here. I really don't want them to get hit here. Just go in with 5 HP. Make it a THK fight. We'll have fun with it. Dude, the thing is, if Fire wins, they have to go through this again. Like, their hearts are already racing, man.
Oh yeah, especially if like, they know the lead in that, which they do. Just
I think they do.
The sheer amount of adrenaline that you'd have going into the second race.
I wonder if Viz killed that spider because he didn't think he had enough geo. He definitely did, but he wasted time on that first spider. Well, not the first spider. The second spider or something. The one he did not get hit by and killed, just to get that extra geo. Now, does Viz do the pause and dash here? If he doesn't, I'm upset. It really saves, like, no time. We'll see Fire do it for sure. Dude, this is just filler. Like, just get to the THK fight already. I want to see it. Oh, Viz does it. He's sick.
Yeah, so now we come up to Parry Simulator.
Yeah, like, they're just praying to RNG at this point that they don't get parries. Parries are just slow no matter how you play them. Of course, if you do get a parry, the ideal way to play it is to not hit the parry and just jump over it and continue attacking him, but it's harder to react to that than you might think. especially when you're worried about getting as much damage as you can. So we'll time the roars here. The screams. God, it scares me saying roar now. Fire gets a scream at 3203. And no parries so far. There's a parry. Why did I say anything?
Yes.
And a double. Is it like 32-10?
10.
Yeah, so about a 7-second lead. That's a hard time to make up for his Fire, especially Fire's only gotten 1 parry so far. Has hit a double, 2 parries now, 3 parries now. Dude, why do I talk? I'm ruining it. These are good attacks, though.
Start looking at this.
Viz gets a double in here. 4 HP and 5 HP for Viz and Fire, respectively. Now 3 HP for Viz. A little bit scary, especially considering he really doesn't have the time to afford to heal here. Another double. Viz might have had a little bit of a better starting fight. I don't think he got too many parries. Fire at more HP is going to be a little bit more comfortable, and he had a better time coming in. This is rough for Viz. He will poke it or not get hit there. Another parry in the corner, which you can't do too much about. Fire perfectly fine on HP. If Fire gets Scream Skip, it's going to be hard for Viz to make up this difference. If he doesn't, Viz could take it. And he'll have Scream Skip now. He jumped a little bit early, but still got it with a super delayed dash. And he should be almost dead here. He doesn't care about that damage at all. He'll kill THK at 33-22. Viz hasn't even gotten into Scream. It will be Fire's match, and we will have a bracket reset off of a sick race here. Viz getting Scream Skip too. Damn. It really came down to that Beast Den. Yeah, so about 7 seconds, fireb0rn beating Visuals, which was about the time getting out of Beast Den. So an absolutely sick race. Great to see. I can't wait to see these guys go again. I'm sure Viz is like, ugh, why do I have to do this again?
And Viz wasn't even that far from his PB.
No. Like, Fire got a 33-46. Fire beat Viz's PB. And Viz was only 5 seconds off. This would have been a PB for him, what, like 2 days ago?
Would have tied it 2 days ago. Which is just ridiculous. Like, it really, like I say, speaks to the consistency of these top runners.
Dude, I'm so happy we get to have another race. And that was sick. That was a sick race. So yeah, as we mentioned in the beginning, if you're just tuning in now, this is the grand finals. fireb0rn is coming from loser's side, which means he has to win 2 races. He did just edge out Viz in this first race, as you can see on the screen, a 33-46 to a 33-54. So he has reset the bracket. They both have exactly 1 loss now. The tournament is double elimination if you haven't been following that. I guess, you know, good time to be told. So this will be the end of grand finals. We will have 1 more race, and whoever wins will be the winner of the tournament. I don't know what they do.
One time, like a quick interview, or we just stop jumping straight in?
I don't think we'd have an interview.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Fire says BRB bathroom. Alright, fair enough.
Alright, I'm gonna go make a cup of tea, I think.
You getting a cup of tea? So something about Hollow Knight, they can't actually, because they're not in debug or anything, they can't actually get out of these credits right now. So their options are to either close their game and restart it, which would probably be a bit of a hassle to get stuff working on stream, or just wait for the credits to end, and then we'll be able to start a new game, which is what we'll do here. Gives you a little bit of a breather. Again, we will, in just a few minutes momentarily, we will have race number 2 for all the marbles. Pop quiz for those watching, especially the runners watching. Do you know what percentage it says here? It's going to say sometime on fireb0rn stream. Obviously, these times aren't synced up with the actual loadless timers, excuse me. But what percentage do we beat any percent with? I'm saying it as a quiz and not telling you because honestly, I forget at this point. We'll see if Viz... I know Fire's AFK for now. We'll see if Viz hits A through this. Someone needs to hit a button for us to see the percentage. Oh, Viz will do it. What a guy. The answer was apparently 16. That's crazy, dude. Like 33.54 would have been record. I say not too long ago. It's pretty long ago now. It's like 6 months or something. But like just a sub 34 is a time that used to be considered crazy. We were wondering at the start of this tournament, like, I wonder if we'll see any 33s in this race. That would be absolutely insane. And of course, for grand finals, for the first race of grand finals, we will see two 33s. 33.46 edging out a 33.54. That could be the first 33 we've seen that actually lost a race.